God's covenant with Abraham, the father of many nations. Hello and welcome to the Bible Inspiration Hub channel, where we bring the Word to life, one verse at a time. Today, we are going to look at the powerful story of Abraham and how God changed his name and made a covenant with him to be the father of many nations. God changed Abram's name to Abraham to symbolize Abraham's covenanted promise and purpose. The Hebrew name Abram means exalted or high father, and Abraham means the father of many nations. The story can be found in the 17th chapter of the book of Genesis. Let's explore the New King James Version of the passage and delve into its message and lessons. Genesis chapter 17, verses 1 to 27. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abram and said to him, I am Almighty God. Walk before me and be blameless, and I will make my covenant between me and you, and will multiply you exceedingly. Then Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be a father of many nations. No longer shall your name be called Abram, but your name shall be Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings shall come from you. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and your descendants after you. Also I give to you and your descendants after you the land in which you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan, as an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said to Abraham, As for you, you shall keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you throughout their generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep, between me and you and your descendants after you. Every male child among you shall be circumcised, and you shall be circumcised in the flesh of your foreskins, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and you. He who is 8 days old among you shall be circumcised, every male child in your generations. He who is born in your house or bought with money from any foreigner who is not your descendant. He who is born in your house, and he who is bought with your money, must be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised male child who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, that person shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Then God said to Abraham, As for Sarai your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will bless her and also give you a son by her. Then I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of peoples shall be from her. Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? And Abraham said to God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before you. Then God said, No, Sarah, your wife shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his descendants after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. He shall beget 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear to you at this set time next year. Then he finished talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. So Abraham took Ishmael his son, all who were born in his house and all who were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskins that very same day, as God had said to him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, and Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. That very same day Abraham was circumcised, and his son Ishmael, and all the men of his house, born in the house or bought with money from a foreigner, were circumcised with him. Genesis 17 recounts a significant event in the life of Abraham, where God establishes a covenant with him and changes his name from Abram to Abraham, signifying his role as the father of many nations. The chapter also details the institution of circumcision as a sign of the covenant between God and Abraham's descendants. The 5 key points from this story are: 1. Faithfulness and obedience. Abraham's unwavering faith in God's promises is evident as he obeys God's commandments, including circumcision. This underscores the importance of trusting in God's plans and obeying His instructions, even when they seem difficult or unconventional. 2. God's covenant with Abraham and Sarah. The chapter highlights God's faithfulness in fulfilling His promises. Despite Abraham and Sarah's old age and seemingly impossible circumstances, God reaffirms His covenant with them and promises to bless them with descendants as numerous as the stars. 3. Identity and purpose reflected in new names. The renaming of Abram to Abraham and Sarai to Sarah signifies a transformation in their identities and purpose. Abraham's new name reflects his role as the father of many nations, while Sarah's name change symbolizes her future as the mother of nations. This teaches us about the transformative power of God in shaping our identities and purposes according to His plans. 4. Inclusivity in God's covenant. God's covenant extends not only to Abraham and his biological descendants, but also to those within his household, including Ishmael. This emphasizes the inclusivity of God's promises and blessings, inviting all who believe and obey to partake in His covenant. 5. Perseverance and patience. Abraham's reaction to God's promise of a son through Sarah, including laughter and skepticism, highlights the human struggle with doubt and impatience. However, despite his doubts, Abraham ultimately trusts in God's timing and provision. This teaches us the importance of patience and perseverance in waiting for God's promises to be fulfilled. These lessons from Genesis 17 encourage believers today to trust in God's faithfulness, obey His commands, embrace our identities and purposes in Him, inclusively share His promises with others, and patiently await His timing for fulfillment. Thanks for watching, and remember to click the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.